Are you comfortable? Are you comfortable back there, buddy? Yeah, you comfortable? Oh, I guess not. Want some hi? Oh, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Dude, look at this list. This list that, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Jen made this unbelievable list of things that we have to go over for the concert. She and I have a meeting in about an hour, and like, the list of things. Like, let me just show you some of these things. Like, look at this. Need to confirm VIP plus parking. Band, where's the band gonna park? Parking in advance. Making sure we get these orange cones. She provided a link to orange cones on Amazon. Lights in the parking lot need to be turned on late just so that everybody can exit safely. We were talking about security, so talking about what the security guard needs. Unbelievable. Pretty sore from my race this weekend. I don't know why. I guess I do know why. I ran my best mile times in a long distance race, a 10K mile times. So I was definitely pushing myself. I'm definitely sore. So you want to hear something interesting that I've been thinking about as I'm on my way to meet Jen, the event planner? They have an event coordinator, I guess, manager. I don't even know what. She's wearing so many hats, it's amazing. So you know how I journal every single day? I have over 8 years of journals done every single day. I think I've missed somewhere between 10 to 15 days in 8 years, but I've done every single day other than that. Jamie had said like, oh, 2 years ago today, she must have gotten like a notification or like a time lapse kind of thing, like, oh, 2 years ago today we did this, and this. And I was like, oh, let's see, like, and I think that we did this and that tomorrow. And I was like, you know what, let me check. So I went back in my journal and I was reading through some of the things, and it's funny how nostalgic I get, and I'm like, oh, those are good times. But the truth is, she was referencing like something like 2 years ago, 2020, something like that. 2019, 2020, and early 21. Actually, no, 21 was when I really started making a change, actually. So 2019, 2020 were probably some of the worst times of me struggling with anxiety. And it's funny how our brain can become so rosy of the past, where it's like, oh, those are such good days, when in reality, these days today are so much better than they were 2 years ago. Now, I had great times back then, and I wouldn't say anxiety ruined the times. I've lived a great life so far, or at least perspective-wise, I choose to believe that I've lived a great life. There's been some harder things, and I've gone through, but I try to look at the bright side of things. But it's interesting just to see, like, how quickly our brain, like, forgets the bad, and, like, it's probably a survival instinct, otherwise we'd, like, be miserable looking at the past, but, like, I don't know, I just found it very interesting. I was, like, almost a perspective shift of, like, man, I'm thinking like those were good days. Like these days are 100% better. Like I'm not even the same person. I wouldn't even say I struggle with anxiety more. I would say that I have anxious moments, which I think everybody does. And it's like kind of I think the whole world has moments, and now I'm just like kind of like in that where it's like before it was 100% like affecting my day-to-day life, crippling wise. Now not nowhere near that. So I don't know, it's just something interesting to think about. Oh, on a totally different note, you want to do something crazy? I've been so exhausted the past couple of 2 weeks, 3 weeks, like so exhausted. I've been drinking a ton of coffee. I've been so tired, falling asleep like in the middle of days kind of thing, like just my like nodding off. I think I realized why yesterday morning, like for several days in a row, including yesterday, not like the night before yesterday and stuff and everything, I'm like kind of half sleeping, or it's like I'm half awake, half asleep, and like thinking about things for the concert. And it's like, which is interesting because like I'm not really that like at night I'm not that stressed about it. It's just like this almost like my mind's still running, and it's like I don't know. I know I acknowledge that that's not good. I completely acknowledge that, but that's what I realized. I was so tired lately because I'm like not really sleeping well. Well, I was so tired. Jamie and I were so tired last night that I actually at 8 o'clock I was falling asleep on the couch, and I'm like, you know what? Why am I gonna close my eyes on the couch? Like I'm just gonna go to bed. So at 8 o'clock, it was like 7:55. I was in bed by 8:30. Like it was like 8:25 by the time I got in bed. In bed at 8:30, had my alarm set for 5:30, which would have been 8.5 hours of sleep. I didn't wake up once the whole night. I woke up when my alarm went off at 5 o'clock in the morning. And at 5 o'clock I was like, nah, I'm still too tired. Snoozed, nah, I'm too tired. Snooze, nah, I'm too tired. Snooze, nah, I'm too tired. Didn't get out of bed until 6:39 in the morning. So I snoozed for an hour and 40 minutes. I got over 10 hours of sleep. I was so tired, and now I'm feeling great, man. My body needed it, man. I needed it for sure. I wouldn't mind going to bed at 8:30 again tonight. What do I really do past 8:30? Like nothing, really. Oh, this is a nice area, man. How are you? Can I get a tall red eye?
Of course.
I guess that's a dark roast with an espresso shot?
Yeah, you do dark roast.
Okay, perfect. A medium dark roast as well?
Absolutely. Nothing in there?
Nothing.
You making music today? Or something?
Yeah, I am.
Cool.
Totally should have gotten a snack before I left, so I'm gonna see before I meet Jen if this place has anything good, anything I can grab to go. Alright, so that restaurant was closed. It actually worked out because I went to the supermarket right next to it, which, by the way, very much felt like very reminiscent of the supermarket that I went to in what was that? Malibu, California. This very very nice, we'll say, very nice supermarket. But I got me what's called, they labeled it fancy fruit. This is like some dried fruit stuff, like legit called fancy fruit. And then a thing of nuts. So when I talk about the fact that I just had a serious meeting, I'm talking serious. Me and Jen just met for about 4 hours and we worked through 1,000 things of the show. We now have a structure of the show, what it's gonna look like, just all these different aspects. Like, I wish I had the list of like what the after party is going to look like, how are we going to get the people to the after party, how are we going to denote after party, like access to the after party, like, you know, whether it be, you know, how are we going to denote VIPs versus not VIPs, who's going to, you know, introduce the show, like, oh, so many moving parts. But man, we got so much done in the 4 hours. The show is seriously coming together and I'm really excited. Really interesting side note, we had thought of somebody that'd be really cool to run the merch table. I just reached out to that person, and very crazy rules and regulations. Because the person is a financial advisor, they work now under the SEC, which like is the U.S. government. I guess it's a branch of the government like that runs like, I think it's the Securities and Exchange Commissions, SEC. Due to regulations of the SEC, they're not allowed to have any outside compensation from anything. I was like, hey man, I'd love to hire you for the merch table. And he's like, unfortunately, like I wish I could, but like the SEC's won't allow me to do that. I'm like, that the red tape in some of the corporate world, it blows my mind, man. It really, it's wild. Well, what do we have here? But these happen to be freshly baked. Oh my gosh, still warm. Now that I'm touching all of them, still warm. Let's take them from the middle then. Homemade chocolate chip cookies from my wife. Chocolate chip, it looks like peanut butter in the center. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, it's falling apart. I guess I have to take this one, huh? Oh, it's falling everywhere. Oh. Check out this post-meeting pre-dinner snack. I mean, some might call it lunch, but it's 4 o'clock and I haven't had lunch yet. So we got a little bit of leftover Dough & Co. dough, some homegrown tomatoes, and some local gorgonzola cheese. We're spraying on some avocado oil. Alright, even after a 4-hour meeting, still got work to do, so let's make some phone calls. It's only 4:20.
How can I help you?
Hey, what's going on? I had a quick question for you. I'm calling to see if you guys also do event insurance.
Hello?
Hey, how are you? I wanted to see if the studio would be available for like 10, 15, 20 minutes this week, in the end of the week, maybe to bring some people that are helping me set up just to look at the studio, to kind of give them an idea of what it looks like.
Mr. Restituto.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
So I just got off the phone with Jen after getting off the phone with the media, the TV studio, and I realized I'm actually very embarrassed that I am agreeing to all this, and even like she hasn't run the card yet, but like agreed to run the card. I can't believe I forgot to get an itemized agreement that I've signed. And Jen, the event coordinator, was like, "Hey, did you sign any?" I was like, "Yo, I haven't signed anything." I'm like, I'm thoroughly embarrassed. I'm like, I can't believe that slipped my mind. So to create a level of professionalism between me and the studio, I actually asked if Jen, being the position that she's in, being that liaison, because I feel like it creates this level of professionalism where it's like, it's still the Jacob Restituto entity in contact with them, but it's not Jacob Restituto the musician. It creates this level of like barrier, which creates a little bit of comfortability for everybody, I feel like. The studio, the management, myself, it just creates this level of all-around comfortability and professionalism, I feel like.